This happened about 5 years ago back when I was going through hard times and was homeless. I used to live in Denver, CO, which is where this took place. There are several cemeteries in the Denver area, but there's one on the outskirts of Denver that's very large and very old. I think it may be the oldest one that's still being actively used. Before I became homeless, I didn't know much about this area. I had always gotten a creepy feeling around there, but didn't know why until I was on the streets. After that, I heard from many different people that it's got lots of underground tunnels, and some homeless people live in these tunnels. But in the deeper tunnels, there is cult activity. These tunnels have secret entrances all over the area, and the homeless that live around this area avoid some of these spider holes because people have been known to disappear near them. Mostly women. This area has a river going through it, alongside the graveyard. One side of the river has a darker feel than the other. It's eerie over there, and smells like death. Anyways, one time, I was wandering the area with a few other acquaintances, safety in numbers and all that. We had nowhere to go, and decided to hang out in the abandoned part of the graveyard. The older side, it had just gotten dark and it was windy. It was also fall, so it was cold. We were huddled up against gravestones to block the wind. One of the people I was with knew the area better than me, and he had warned me to be very vigilant. I figured this was so we didn't attract the attention of security or police or fellow homeless, but I later found out why he was so anxious about the area. It was probably around 10 p.m. We had sort of all been just sitting in silence, trying to stay warm, hoping the night passed quickly when I heard my acquaintance, let's call him Jay, whisper, "Hey, heads up, keep quiet." I had already been quiet, but I immediately tensed up, assuming he spotted security or something. But as I looked around, I saw in the distance some small flickering lights appearing here, and they're all around the graveyard. It's like people had been spread all around the large graveyard, and they were all holding lighters that they flicked on, which only then showed they were all over. After my eyes adjusted a bit, I recognized they seemed to be candles. I looked harder and could sort of see the outlines of people holding these candles. Jay whispered, "We gotta go." We clumsily started grabbing the few items we had around us. Jay came right up next to me and said, "Follow me and don't look at them." I was thinking, WTF? Me and our other friend quickly started following Jay, moving at a quick walk straight to the break in the fence where we had come in. I was stupid enough to look behind me and saw the lights or figures continuing to appear all around us, and they were walking to the middle of the graveyard to stand in a circle. I passed by a few and saw, out of the corner of my eye, they were wearing black cloaks. I could feel the menacing presence and stares, like they were daring me to look at them, but I had an overwhelming feeling that if we left them alone, that they would leave us alone. One thing that haunted me afterwards was the way they seemed to move towards the middle. They moved quickly and smoothly, like they were gliding, a stereotype. I know, and just seemed to morph out of the darkness. My instincts were on high alert. I knew whoever they were pure evil. We got the hell out of there, and once we got to the fence we full-on sprinted for a few blocks. Jay didn't explain much. He just said to avoid those people and don't look them in the eye or they could have power over you. I definitely had gotten that feeling from the encounter. I asked why. They weren't scared of cops or security, and he said basically that they got away with stuff they did because the authorities didn't want to risk looking into it because they didn't want to be targeted. I don't know how true this is, but I do know what I saw and felt. I have had several scary experiences during my time in Denver, and some other stories about this area, so you guys let me know if you want more background or want to hear the other things I've experienced or heard about this area.